Hi folks, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing an OnShape exercise based on a toy camera. This exercise is actually from page 145 of the World of Graphics textbook, and I just took a snippet here and I uploaded it to a PowerPoint. And some of the tools used we're going to be learning about are sketching on a plane face using, rectangle, dimension and circle. So we've encountered some of these before where we've encountered a dimension, and previously on an exercise that we did on the aeroplane, also a line. We're also going to be doing an extrude. Once again, we've practiced that one before, but this time we're also going to be doing an extrude cut. And eventually then at some point we will add in maybe additional parts if we want to. We might actually add on maybe kind of where the flash would be or something like that there as well, or a button on top. So they're the kind of things we're going to be learning about today, guys. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this structure. So we can see here it says a toy camera is represented in 2D sketches and the 3D object is below. I've obviously taken out a shot at the moment. Sketch the toy camera, in SolidWorks we're using OnShape, and then use the extruded cut and extrude boss base features, to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to build it up obviously in certain parts. So first of all, we're going to take this kind of main body of it here, which is kind of the box section. And on the box section, we can see that it is 70 millimeters high and 100 millimeters long. And then if we look down at the plan view of it here, we can see that it's 20 wide, So we'll start off with that, and then we'll come back and we'll focus obviously on where the camera part is here. That's obviously the flash, and we might add on a button at the top then as well, So we'll start off that, a rectangle that is 100 long and 70 millimeters high. So going into your OnShape, obviously you'll have logged in at the very, very start. And what we're going to do is up here, we're going to click on Create. And this time I'm going to click on Document. So this time I'm going to call it Toy Camera. And click OK. Now, like last time and other times that we have done things like this, it's going to bring you into the home screen here. So now that we're in the home screen, it's about identifying which plane we're going to draw on. So if I go back in here, and if you look at this plane here, we know this as the elevation view. So the elevation is going to go on the front plane, or what's known as the vertical plane as well. So the front plane is the one I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my right plane. So I'm going to hide that. I'm also going to turn off my top plane. I'm going to hide that. And it's the front plane I want to sketch with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click Sketch. And having clicked Sketch, I'm going to select my plane. It's asking me to select the plane in here, and I'm going to click on the front plane. And what that's after doing now is after bringing in a sketch one on the front plane. Having that done, I'm now going to turn off my front plane, and I'm going to start by doing a sketch. Come over here to the little box window up on the top right, and as usual, we can obviously select the various faces, but the one I want to draw on is the front one, and that'll bring it up there for me, alright? I'm just going to zoom out there a little bit. And what I'm going to start with is some of these sketch tools up here. The one we previously used is a line tool. We use the line also with the construction. Now what we're going to use today is this rectangle tool, If you click the arrow on the outside here, you can see here you have two different types of rectangles. You've got corner rectangle, and you've also got center point rectangle, So the one we want to make sure that we're selected on is the corner rectangle. So I'm going to select that one there. You can see it's highlighted here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over the origin, click once, drag away. I've let go of the mouse button now, very important. And I'm going to do a box there, a rectangle that's roughly the right size. And I clicked again, Now, we know we need this to be 70 and we need this to be on 111. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to my dimension tool, and I'm going to select, after selecting the dimension tool, select the line once, let go of the mouse key, drag out, click again. And this needs to be 70, 70, enter. And this here needs to be 100. So click again, 100, enter. And as you will see there, guys, now my box is fully defined, It has an overall height and it has a length, and obviously it's mapped onto the origin as well, So at this point now, if I just go back to our sheet, we know we've created that box, but what we have to do is we have to give it a depth, or a width. And we can see there, guys, that it is 20 millimeters wide. So, 20 millimeters extruded. So at this point now, what we're going to do is we are going to go up to our features. And you can see our little feature up here. We've got one here which is a revolve. We're not going to use that. We're going to use the extrude one once again. So select extrude, and you'll see here the box is after kind of highlighting. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate by pressing down on my mouse wheel and holding down the mouse wheel. You can see here it's kind of like bringing up a 3D image. Or you could just select this little corner of the square here and it'll bring it in. Now we know at this stage we can either grab the handle here and drag it out. Okay, but it's much easier just to come over here and type in 20, enter, and it'll give us the exact width that we want for the box to come out, the exact extrusion length. Okay, so once I have that done, I'm going to click the green arrow. Okay, so there we have it. That is the first part of our object done. Okay, that is the kind of camera body part. So what we're going to do now, guys, alright, is, sorry, just selecting that there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to this front section here. And we're going to be learning a new one, and we're going to be starting with a circle. Okay? And as you can see there, guys, this circle is at the front of it. And we have two circles there, one with a diameter of 50, and the other one has a diameter of 35. So there's obviously a gap of 7.5 either side then, because it's 15 overall in the difference. So 50 diameter for the outside one, 35 diameter for the inside one. Okay, and we can see there that is actually connected onto the front face of our camera, and once again it comes out 20 millimeters. And we can see that the inside one, the diameter 35, because we can actually see the hidden detail there. So that's actually a hole. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually select this surface here to draw on. Like when we started the original sketch with the rectangle, we needed a surface to draw on. So we needed obviously the front plane to draw on. Now what we need to draw on is this face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click sketch. And once again, it's asking me to select a plane. Now I'm not going to select one of these guys. I'm actually going to select the surface of the object. And having selected the surface of the object, you can see here another sketch box is after opening up. Okay, so what I want to do once again is look straight at it like it is on a page. So I'm going to select this front surface here. That's after bringing it up there, and we have our sketch plane there. And it's actually just, literally, if I rotate around, you can see there, it's just on the face. So we'll go back to that there, to the front. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start off by doing a circle. So I'm going to come up over here to my sketch icons, and the one I want to make sure and select, once again, select the center arrow, but make sure you're just on center point circle. So I'll select that one. You can see it's highlighted, and roughly I'm going to pick a point in here that's roughly correct. Okay, so if I go back, you can see it's kind of in the middle. Okay, so 70, its diameter 50, we can see that it's in 35, and it's down 10 from the top. From over here we can see that. Okay, so I'm going to pick a point roughly in the middle there. I'm going to click once, anywhere on the face, drag out, click again. Okay, and same thing again. I want to do the exact same again with another circle. Okay, so this time once again I'm going to click once, let go, drag out, and click once again. So now what we have to do is, you can see there we have two circles. They might look right, but we have to dimension them accurately. Okay, so once again, having drawn the two circles, we need to now come up here to our dimension tool. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the two circles are the right diameter. Okay, so we know the big circle is diameter 50. So I can click on the circle, drag out. You can see here it's saying 51. So I'll click 50, enter. And now that this one inside is going to click on that. I'm also going to drag out, and this one is 35. So there's our two circles. But as you can see as well, they are still in blue, which means they are underdefined. So if we just go back to our measurements on the sheet, we can see that the center point, okay, of both circles which are concentric, they share the same center point, they are 35 millimeters away from this edge here. So we can see that 35 millimeters there. And another dimension that they are as well is there's also a gap of 10 millimeters here. And by doing a little process of maths, there's also a gap of 10 here. Okay, so we can use that to basically guide us in this drawing. So what I'm going to do now is, while I'm still on my dimension, I'm going to select the center points of the circle, and I'm also going to select the line. And you can see here it's after giving me a dimension. Now I'm going to click once, and I'm going to click 35, enter. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dimension between the line here and the circle. So click once on the circle, click once here on the line, and you can see here it's after giving me a dimension again. It's an 11 point something. And I want to make that 10. There we have it. You can see now, having put in those two dimensions, our two circles have now become dark and they are fully defined. Okay? So what we want to do now, guys, is we want to, if I just go back here, we want to extrude that 20 millimeters. So we know what to do at this stage. So we're going to come up here and we're going to click on this little extrude icon. And what you'll actually see is, if I just rotate sideways there, you can see it's after extruding, but it's after extruding with the hole within it. Okay? So I want to make sure, once again, I'm just going to change it here to 20 and click on tick. There you have it. That is our kind of camera, where you probably have, obviously have the lens and so forth. Okay? So that's nice and easy there, guys. That was just a little bit on the circles. Now, if you had just done the original circle of a diameter of 50, okay, if you had just done that one, you could afterwards have gone backwards and done another drawing on, say, this face here that I've just selected, done a circle diameter 35 and removed it. But I'll get on to explaining that now, because we have to do that section actually on a face here. So, looking at that now, guys, we have now done, okay, the circle part here where the lens of the camera is. And the next part we have to do is, we've got this little rectangle here. And we can see that it is 25 long and that it is 12 millimeters high. And we can also see as well, looking down here at our plan view, it's actually a hole that is cutting through it. So if we imagine, that's kind of where the lens is, or the flash might be, okay? Sorry, not the lens, the flash. So a 25 millimeter by 12 millimeter rectangle that is also in 10 and down 10. Okay, so we can see the two 10 millimeter dimensions there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So once again, I need to do a sketch. So I'm going to select sketch. And once again, I have to do a plane. And we know it's on this surface. So we can sketch on this surface. I could sketch on this back surface, but it's easier for me to follow the drawing. So I'm going to select this face here. And I've selected the face. And once again, you can see here, sketch 3 now. Because this is our third sketch, so it's saying sketch 3. So I'm going to select front plane. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, just so I have a bit of room. And once again, we're going to select the rectangle tool. Make sure we're on corner rectangle. And I'm going to roughly put in a box here where I think the right position is. So I'm going to select the left mouse button once, let go, and then drag out and make the rough dimensions there. Something like that. I'm happy with that. So now I need to dimension. Select the dimension icon. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dimension the box. So select the line. I know this is 25. And I know this is 12. I've had it close enough. Now I know the distance between this line and the top of my kind of camera is 10. So I'll select this line and then I'll select this line. And I know that's 10. So I'll just do it up here. 10. And now I know the distance between this line and this line is also 10. Select this line, and then show me the gap then is 10. There we go. And as you can see, the box now is fully defined, the rectangle. Now at this point, we have to get rid of that material inside of that rectangle. So once again, we're actually going to go over to our extrude, okay? And straight away, if I go and I rotate sideways, you can see once again, it's after adding on material. So if we look here now, we haven't done this yet, okay? We don't want to add this time. So in the extrude, which we've gone into, we don't want to add. But just beside add, you see here, we have this little button that says remove. So if I select remove, you can see now it's after changing in here, and it's actually after cutting a hole through the object. And now it also has a depth of 25. And that will do fine because we know our object here, this portion of it is only 20. So 25 will do fine. Now you could also, instead of saying, because that's to do with blind, you could also click this down arrow where it says blind, this down arrow here, and you could just say through all. And by selecting through all, it'll just go through whatever is there on the object, okay? And obviously there is 20 millimeters and it works out fine. But doing blind and having a distance of 25 works as well. But I'm just going to select through all for this one. And having done that, I am now going to accept it by clicking on the green arrow. There you have it, guys. That is essentially what they wanted us to do in the first place. So if I just go to the front face here, you can see here, we've obviously got the camera lens, and we've obviously got where the flash would be essentially is the idea, and we can see it in here, okay, and obviously in the plan view. So this is the view of the plan. So we'll go to our plan view just to check it out. Sorry, it should be going down. So as I rotate around, come one too far, there you have it. That is our plan view of the object. And if I put on my kind of detail here, I'm going to say hidden edges visible. So as you can see there, we have the hidden detail in here and the hidden detail in here, showing where the hole is in here and the hole is in this section as well. Okay. I put on shaded hidden edges, and we can see them in this view as well. Okay. And I'll go back just to shaded, and I will go to my isometric view. Represent the back of it. There we have it. Okay. So that's the little bit on the camera, guys. But just on that, I'm going to add one more part. I'm just going to add in a little button at the top, okay? And this is where you can have a little bit of fun yourself, okay? So I'm going to put a little button up here, all right? As if you imagine you were obviously holding the camera and you had to click down the button to take a shot, okay? So the surface I'm actually want to draw on this time to add on a button is up here. So to do that, I'm going to click on my sketch icon. And once again, I need a sketch plane. I'm on sketch number 4 now. So this time I'm going to select this top surface here. So I'm going to select this surface. And as you can see there, it's after bringing in another sketch plane, which is called sketch 4. Okay, so I'm ready to start sketching. This time though, it doesn't make sense to select the front to look at. Because if I select the front, you can see here, my plane is after coming in up here, this little blue line, and that's at the top of it. So I actually need to look at the top. There you have it. Okay, we're looking down the top of it now. Okay, and there it is. Sorry, I'll just bring that in there. Top surface. There we have it. Okay, so there we have it, and we want to put a button in here. Okay, so once again, I'm just going to make a simple button. Okay, and I'm going to select corner rectangle. So once again, I'm going to select my corner rectangle, and I'm going to put the button flush with this back edge here. Okay, but not all the way to the front. So I'm going to select it on the line, click once, let go, drag away. I'm going to put a button there. Doesn't matter what dimension it is, I'll dimension it after. So roughly like that. I know it's 20, so I'll make it half. So I'm going to first of all make this length 10, because I know the distance of this portion was 20. I'm going to make this distance go 25 once again. And then I'm going to also have to, you can see here now, it's kind of half dark. The top two lines are dark, whereas this line and this line are blue. So now I need to dimension from here to the origin. The origin is over here, so I'm going to select here, then select point, and it's saying 60, so I'll stick with 60, nice round number. And as you can see now, because it has a dimension and it's dimensioned off one of the opposite sides here, it can't move anywhere. So that's the position of it there. So I'm happy with that. Now what I want to do is I want to extrude that. So I want to add on a part. So you can see we're on here at add. Now that's probably a little bit high. So I'm maybe change it to something like 10. That looks a little bit better. I'm happy with that. And there's our little button that we have added onto it. Okay. Now at this point, if you really wanted, okay, you could add in a little fillet. Okay. And a fillet here, you can see by the image, it's kind of got a little rounded edge there. Okay. The other option you might have is a chamfer, okay, where the chamfer you could obviously an angled cut. But we'll just put a little fillet on it of about 1 millimeter on the way around, okay? So it says 5 here, that's a bit too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to 1. And what I'm actually going to do is it says entities to fillet here. So I need to select entities to fillet. So I'm going to select this edge here. And if I zoom in, you can see it's after filleting. Now I'm going to select this edge. Okay? That one's after filleting. Select this edge. And then once again, last one, I'll just zoom out there. Sorry, going all over the place. There we have it. I'll get this one here as well. And I've all 4 edges. You can see here, every one of them is after coming in my window here. I will accept that by clicking on the green tick. And I want to come over here and click on isometric. It's after coming back in center. And if I just zoom in on that, you can see all those edges are kind of rounded there now. Okay, the whole way around. And that's my little button at the top of the guys, okay? Front view of it, side view, top view, okay? And we can see the button detail has been added in, okay? Just go back here to the front there. Okay. So that question there, guys, is done. That was just a little bit, guys, on a toy camera question. Obviously, there was a little bit, obviously, using a rectangle this time, a circle. Once again, going over dimensions. Also using then the extrusions, and then this time we focused on also doing an extrusion, but an extrusion remove, so getting rid of material. Okay. And we've also then practiced, we know then that we can also sketch on various planes. Every one of these faces is a plane that we can sketch on individually as well. So always you're going to select sketch, and the surface you want to sketch on, you just select that surface. Okay. So hope you found that helpful, guys. I'll just go out there now to my home screen, and that should there, yep, you can see there, guys, it's probably taking a couple of seconds to update my toy camera. It's still missing maybe the top of it there. It's probably updating, but you can see there the work that I've just done there now is completed in here. So just on that, guys, we can see here all the dimensions are put in correctly. So I'm happy with that. Just on that there, guys, that is the question complete, and I hope you found that helpful.